Hey everybody, it's the Heretic here. Sorry I'm a little dirty, I'm working on my house. So let's talk about a guilty verdict. Let's discuss that. Because it is a possibility, however outlandish that may seem to some of us. You never know how 12 people are going to see it. That's just the way it is. So what does a guilty verdict mean? Well, first let's talk about what it doesn't mean. What it doesn't mean is that Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist. What it doesn't mean is that Kyle Rittenhouse went there to kill. It doesn't mean any of that. What it would mean is that, as it turns out, Kyle Rittenhouse did not have the grounds for self-defense that he thought he did. So a jury determined. I think we all know that just because a jury acquits you, it doesn't mean you're innocent, and just because a jury convicts you, it doesn't mean you're guilty. But it would mean that in a court of law, and under our current judicial system, 12 jury members determined that Kyle Rittenhouse did not have sufficient cause for self-defense. And that would be that. So don't get, some of you need to not get all tore up about it, and some of you need to get it out of your heads that all of your opinions and positions have been affirmed. Because no, that a guilty verdict wouldn't mean that. It would not mean that your position has been confirmed. And that would be the same with self-defense, guys. If he gets off, that doesn't mean that he's innocent. You still need to figure out how to articulate his innocence beyond just saying, well, they found him innocent. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. And that's going to happen. You're going to have people that, if he's found guilty, believe that means that everything they believed about this person was true. And that's absurd. And the tragedy here, I've already touched on this in another video, is that, especially in a guilty verdict, we won't know if the jury reached that conclusion of their own accord, or if they were coerced, if they were threatened into compliance. And that's the real problem with jury intimidation. That's why I don't care who does it, right wing, left wing, center wing, beak, tail, I don't care. You're an a-hole. Because there is a difference between a jury reaching an erroneous conclusion and a jury reaching basically just a forced conclusion. Sorry, the $4 word for that escaped me at the moment. If they find him guilty of their own accord, well, okay, my opinion and the opinion, frankly, the facts themselves would more than substantiate that they simply made a bad call. But that would be a bad call. You understand? It would not be the same as what we were facing if the mob was able to frighten jurors into a bad decision here. Because this kind of correlates with the notion of declaring a mistrial with prejudice. Let me tell you why that bothers me. In this case, what we really need is full exoneration by a jury of his peers. I'll make another video here in a little bit explaining how that's going to affect him legally if he's found, or after the trial, if he doesn't get convicted. But most importantly, if 12 people acquit him, then that constitutes exoneration. That constitutes, look, man, people sat down, they looked at the evidence, and they went, crap. And in this instance, forgive me if I'm maligning someone's character in error, but in this instance, I think some of these jurors really wanted a conviction. Like, they went in saying, okay, I know what happened here, and I'm going to convict this guy. I'm going to see to it he gets put away. And I think what's happening right now is once they saw the evidence, they've had to sit down and go, okay, I still really want to convict this guy, and I want to give the mob basically what they want, but darn it, I need to be able to sleep at night. I think they're actually decent people. And so now they're going back over this evidence. They're combing through everything, looking for just a single thing they can find that will let them wrap their heads around a guilty verdict so they can sleep at night. And maybe I'm wrong about that. But there is a flip side to that coin. He could actually be guilty. Look, circle back to what I said in the beginning of this video. Just because he's guilty doesn't mean he went there to kill people. It doesn't mean that he was a white supremacist. It doesn't mean that, this was his plan all along. I've made a video addressing those ridiculous claims, and if you want to present another one to me in another way, tell me in the comments section, and I'll be happy to confront that. I'll make a full video just for you. But I digress. If Kyle Rittenhouse did, in fact, guys, if he was running around pointing his gun at people, threatening people with it, stuff like that, meeting the parameters of provocation, and there'll be another video about this later. When I say provocation, I don't mean like he accidentally sweeps someone with his muzzle. Like it was hanging there and he had it kind of in his hands and he was turning and he accidentally sweeped him with it. That's not provocation to me. That wouldn't constitute sufficient provocation for me. I don't even know if that would meet the parameters of provocation. I don't know what the parameters of that are exactly in Wisconsin. I don't mean like somebody jumped out of the bushes on him or came running up on him in the dark, or they reach for their waistline really quick or something, and he threw his weapon up like, hey, what are you doing? And then lowered his weapon once he realized they weren't a threat. I don't mean that. I mean, like, if he was going around, running up on crowds of people and going, you get out of here. Y'all need to disperse. Leave. You, piss off. Get out of here. Like, if he was, don't make me shoot you. I'll shoot you. If he was running around antagonizing people. I think provoking is not the best word so much as antagonizing. In terms of really illustrating the dynamics of what we're talking about here. If he was doing that, then as a pro-Second Amendment advocate and a advocate of self-defense, look, if you're that person, you have to understand then, okay, he's got to go down. If he was doing that, he's got to go down. He's got to go down. There are rules to self-defense. And there have to be, to an extent. You can't just walk up to somebody and get right up in their face, knowing good and well that any rational human being would push you away, and then say, oh, I was defending myself, and pull your weapon out and shoot them. You can't walk up to somebody with a knife in your hands and go, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to cut some daylight into you, man. And when they, pick up a stick or a bar stool to intervene, then you say, oh, well, now I can, that's not how it works. And if he did that, then I support a guilty verdict. If he did that. I have looked over as much of the evidence as is available to the public. I don't see that anywhere. But maybe there's a piece of evidence we haven't seen yet. In any case, guys, stop trying to make this something that it isn't. Stop. If he's guilty, so be it. If he's not, so be it. But when either side wants to see him either walk or burn because it satisfies their ideological principles and views, because he challenged that, get out of here. Get out of here. If you want to see him walk because, well, you know, he went in there and shot, you know, them people that was running around and tearing stuff up and everything. Nope. That doesn't necessarily give, you don't have grounds to just kill people for that. I don't care. Give me a minute. I don't care that Rosenbaum was a pedophile in the respect of self-defense. I don't care that one of them was a domestic abuser, and I don't care that the other was a thief. None of that played any role in this at all. Stop bringing it up. It's not validation for self-defense. Just like I don't care if Kyle Rittenhouse never should have been there. He had no business there. That doesn't mean anything to self-defense. The only time that would mean something is if you were saying, well, he was in those people's living room. He never should have been there. That's a valid argument. But a public space available to the public, sorry. He had every bit as much right to be there as they did. And those gentlemen, the people that attacked him, their history had nothing to do in terms of justification for him ending their lives. Okay, stop bringing it up. Did they attack him? If the answer is yes, then he's exonerated. He's absolved. If the answer is no, then he's got to burn. Okay? Anyway, I suppose that's heresy.